Hey, what's up? Alex here, and today I'm going to take you through some of my favorite tips and tricks that I've learned over the past 8 years of using a MacBook. I found these out through videos just like this one and just general use over time, and I find them really helpful. There's nothing here that's kind of groundbreaking, but yeah, they're kind of useful little tips and tricks that I like to use. And then I'm going to talk about the touch bar at the end and give a few kind of tips and tricks for that. So yeah, let's kick off with the video. So the first one that I want to talk about is probably pretty obvious. Most people would know it, but if you don't, it's going to be a huge benefit to actually use it in the future. So that is the app switcher. So if you ever use multiple different apps at the one time and you find yourself using the mouse, clicking on the app icon to switch between them, there's a much faster way to do everything, and that is to use Command and Tab. So if you press Command and Tab, it'll switch to the previous app that you were using. But then if you hold Command and hit Tab and keep toggling Tab, you'll see all the different apps that are open on your laptop. And then by tapping Tab, you hover over different ones and then you can open that one up. So it's really handy if you're going from your note-taking app to a browser. You can hit Command Tab and it flicks back and forth really quickly without even having to move the mouse. And then on that switcher thing, you also have, if you press Command Tab and then hover over an app that you want to actually close without having to click X, you can just go Command Tab, hover over the app you want, and then hit Q, and that quits the app. Really easily, really straightforward, and yeah, can save a lot of time flicking around your laptop. Okay, so next one is something that I found out very recently, and that is if you have multiple windows open of the same app, I always found it really difficult to actually flick between the individual windows, because using that trick that I just told you, Command Tab, flicks between apps. So I wasn't sure how to actually flick between windows of the same app. So if you have multiple Safari windows open, for example, the way to flick between them is Command and the tilde sign. Now I'll put the tilde sign on screen, but for me that is beside the Z. It's a little dash, and yeah, it just flicks between the different Safari windows that you have open, and it's really handy. Apparently it's beside the number 1 on other keyboards. So yeah, Command and tilde, and you can flick between windows of the same app. Really useful to use. Okay, another feature that is super useful and can save you a lot of time on your MacBook is to bring up Spotlight, or in my case I have Alfred installed. And the way to do that is simply to hit Command and spacebar, and then this little search box will open up, and you can literally just type in any app you want and it'll open up instantly without having to use the mouse. But yeah, Command space, open that up, and then you can search for any app that you want, and you can even do like little calculations and stuff, and it gives you the answer right there. So it's really useful, really quick, and yeah, good little tip to have on your Mac. The next tip I want to show you is how to show your battery percentage. So I feel like this should be set on by default, but for some reason it's not, so you have to toggle it. So if you turn on your MacBook for the first time, it'll just show the battery icon and you won't have a percentage. So the way you do that is go into System Preferences and go to Dock and Menu Bar, and then if you scroll down to Battery, then you'll see Battery and you'll have a box to check for Show Percentage. So I always have it checked, and it just shows you exactly how much percent battery you have left. Really handy feature. You can at a glance you know if you need to charge it or not. Pretty simple, but yeah, I think it should be on by default. Okay, so next tip is a really cool feature, and it saves, these are all kind of tips that save being tedious with your trackpad, even though the trackpad is great. So if you have an app open and you want to hide it, before I used to have to click on the app and hit this orange key, the minimize key, and it would go down into the dock. But there's a much quicker way. So if you want to hide one of the apps, you simply just hit Command plus H, and the app is hidden, and it's hidden. It's not even in the dock, it's completely hidden. Command plus H and it hides it again. And then if you want to reopen that, you go to like where I said tip number 1 is Command and Tab, and then it'll pop up. And if you want to open the next one, Command and Tab and keep tabbing until you hover over the app that you want to reopen, and it's open there. Really quick, really great if you want to clean up kind of if you have a lot of windows open and you want to kind of declutter, but you don't want to actually close them down. Command and H just to hide it. Really simple, really useful. Okay, so now I want to show you how you go about doing screenshots and screen recordings really easily on the Mac. This is something that I used to have to Google every time and it never really sunk in, but yeah, I have it down now. So the way to do that with a keyboard shortcut is to take a screenshot of the entire screen. You hit Command, Shift and 3. And that takes a screenshot of the entire screen. Then if you want to take a screenshot of a specific area of the screen, you go Command Shift 4 and then your cursor turns into a little drag tool and you drag over whatever section you want and let it go, and you take a screenshot of that specific section that you wanted. Now if you want to take a screenshot of a particular app, so say for example I have Notion open here and I want to take a screenshot of my notes, what I would do is go Command, Shift and 4 and then that gives me the little toggle to drag, but then I would tap spacebar and you'll see it goes into this mode where you hit it highlights everything on that app. But if I drag it over to YouTube here, it'll highlight that and it'll actually just take a screenshot of that whole app that you can see there. But it means you don't have to be really precise with dragging a tool. It just takes a picture of that app. And you can even take a picture of your dock, which I don't know why you would do that, but if you need to do that, it's a handy way to do it. But yeah, really useful. And then you just hit your trackpad and you have a screenshot of the exact dimensions of the app that you have open. Really cool feature. Okay, so lastly on the screenshot side of things is how to pull up the screenshot menu and be able to do a screen recording really quickly. So to bring up the screenshot menu, you go Command, Shift and 5. And that brings up your menu, and in that section you'll find all those kind of previous tips that I showed you. You can take a screenshot of the entire screen, take a screenshot of a specific window, take a screenshot of a selected portion, but then also you have the option to do an entire screen recording of the entire window or a screen recording of a selected window. So really handy for me for a video like this. I just go Command Shift 5, record a section of the window, and then I'm ready to start screen recording. Really handy, really good feature, really easy to navigate through, and yeah, it's come in really handy for me. Okay, so now I want to talk about the touch bar. Now, the touch bar can be kind of a controversial subject. A lot of people hate it, a lot of people love it. I'm kind of indifferent to it, but seeing as I have a MacBook Pro with a touch bar, I may as well try to use it and make the most of it, basically. So the touch bar is made out of two sections, so you have left and right side. The left hand side is dependent on whatever app you have opened. So for me, for example, I have Chrome open up here, and then I have the left hand side is dedicated to Chrome. So you have a back button, you have a search box, and you can open up a new tab. Then on the right hand side is kind of your control panel. This always stays a constant. You have 4 different icons here that always stay there no matter what app you open up. And then if you hit the little arrow or chevron key, you have more function keys that used to be buttons on a Mac, but now they're touch. So things like brightening the keyboard, play, pause, fast forward, rewind, launchpad, brightness, all that kind of stuff. And then you can just collapse it again. On the right hand side, you'll have brightness and sound. Now to adjust these things, you usually have to tap, and then the slider opens up and you can drag and open it up. But there's actually a quicker way. If you just tap and hold, you can just drag straight away. So it saves one extra tap. Not that much time, it's not that hard to do, but can be useful if you really want to quickly do something. Same with sound, you just tap, hold and drag. Really useful, really handy. So if you want to edit this control panel, it's fully customizable. As I said, there are 4 little windows that you can edit and change how and whatever which way you want. So to do that, you go into System Preference, go into Keyboard, and then Customize Control Panel. And then you will see the kind of the 4 icons in the touch bar are shaking. So that's how you know that they're ready to be moved. So for me, for example, I don't really want Siri there because if you accidentally toggle it, it's quite annoying. And yeah, I don't want that. So you just go down to it with your mouse and drag it out, and then you'll see you only have 3 icons there now. And there's all these different options that you can drag down. You can drag AirPlay, Screensaver, lock the screen, go to sleep, screenshot, all these different things that you can drag there. But yeah, It's up to you what you want in there, but it's cool that you can have the customization of editing it. Then if you tap that arrow, it opens up all the other function rows, and then you have a lot more things that you can drag down. So you can adjust it again, you just drag your mouse, click and drag, move it around as and when you want. Really cool that you can customize it, and yeah, may as well make it work the way you want it to work, I think. So there you go guys, that's a few just handy little tips and tricks that I've learned over the years for the MacBook Pro and Mac OS basically, and then a few little touch bar tips and tricks if you didn't know them, might be useful for you to use. Thanks a million for watching, I really hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.